This image right here is Pearl Street Mall in Boulder, Colorado, and hands down the most popular image, period. 148 green dots, 2 red dots. Yeah. And I think the folks with the red dots don't want to see any development, and I understand that. That's a legitimate perspective.
So people placed green dots on a board indicating that they like this type of design.
Yep. This image got 148. The next closest got about 100. Okay, so hands down, this is the most popular.
What was the next closest?
The next closest was Hotel Ontario.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Was this image, which, you know, again, what's not to love? Now, what's interesting about this, when you talk about building heights, yeah, 2 stories like that, we'll start counting them. It's actually 4 stories and even 5 if you get to the very top. But the detail and the character and the architectural massing are such that it brings it down, and it's a beautiful building. I mean, let's be honest, everybody's afraid we're going to build another big green monster. And of course, we're not going to build that because nobody would buy that, right? So then the third most popular image was this one. And obviously they did not mean the Michigan Avenue Wall, they meant the ice rink. And so we all know there used to be an ice rink down here that everybody's really excited about, had a great time, it's been gone. But you could certainly build a new ice rink here and have it be a part of this community. So those are sort of the 3 top images. So here was the best part of all of that, from my perspective, is since this is the most popular image, the best news is that this is not only what I can do, it's what I'm required to do.
Okay.
The form-based zoning code that governs this site that I have to respond to requires a couple of different things. One, if you visualize this as Lake Avenue, so take the people out for a moment and put in Lake Ave, think of this as Mr. Dominic's and Windjammers. It's about that scale right across the street here. I have to build something on this side that's about the same height. I'm required to be less than 28 feet. Or I don't know if it's 28, but it's about 2 to 3 stories. And so when you look at that scale, I have to match that scale down here, all along Lake. So this whole entire edge has to match the scale of what you see over there. The other thing I have to do in the middle of the site, so in the middle of the site, we have to have a civic open space. It's going to be a dedicated city easement, so the city will have ownership and control of the site. So right through, and we're proposing to put it on Hincher, right where we're standing. So a few years from now, you'll stand here, you'll look down, and you'll see water down there, and you'll be looking through a space that feels like this. It has to, because I'm required to do this kind of scale with the buildings, this kind of scale here, and I have to have an open civic space in between that's a public pasture that the city controls and city owns. And so you'll be able to stand right here, look down and see the water, you'll see the boats, and it'll be a public space. In the wintertime you can have an ice rink there, you can do all those different things. So then the obvious question is, well, where's all the tall buildings? You drew all these tall buildings. Well, we're allowed to do taller things, but they have to be 30 feet behind this. Okay, so if you're looking at this, the streetscape experience is just like this, 2 to 3 stories, you know, low, lots of interesting character, and then behind I can do taller things. So the best way to explain why that is, if you look across the street here, you see the tree behind Mr. Dominic's? That's probably a 6-story tall tree. Okay, so you can see how that works, and you can see the tree, and yes, when you're standing here, it's there, it's visible, I get it. What we need to do now is go across the street. So you want to grab the kids?
Okay, sure.
I think if you look at this, image here, and you look at what's behind us with Mr. Dominic's and Windjammers, you can see the family relationship here. Obviously this is a little bit more people right now, but what we can do is we have to have this kind of an edge, similar in height to Windjammers right there and Mr. Dominic's. The street edge here, we have to be close to the street just like this. Has to be about that high. And so I asked the question, so tell me about the tree.
6-story high
where's
tree?
The tree?
Oh, I don't see it. What's that?
I don't know. McDonald's?
You have to go about probably 3 miles down lake this way, into the city more. It'll be on your left.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. So when you get back in here into the space, where's the tree?
Yeah.
So it's there, and I'm not suggesting that our taller portions will be invisible, but the whole point of this urban design strategy and why the form-based code is written the way that it is that when you're standing here and you've got this facade, this is your streetscape experience. It's the building, taller portions are set back so the sunlight can come down. You never feel like you're trapped under a tall building, and you have this character. And so that's exactly, it's not what we want to do, it is what we want to do, it's what we're required to do, and we're going to do it. So it's absolutely what we're going to build. So that's what we're excited about. There's a number of concerns about height and views, and I think we've talked about the views. We don't have lots of great views right now, but one of the other suggestions was made was, we talked about the view from the end of lake there. Another suggestion that was made, that's something we're going to do, is, and we've done this in other places, if this is the quality of the streetscape, and you've got two-story buildings here along lake, if you can get on top of that two-story building, now imagine your view. Instead of looking at the hot dog stand and the other things, you're going to be up above the trees and you'll be able to see the lake from here. So we're going to create restaurants up on top there so people have the chance to get up high and really get this view, which you can see it's really quite limited right now. And the only way to get that view is to get up in the air a little bit. We did a project in Chicago where there's a half-mile stretch of waterfront where the whole community's park was basically hidden behind a berm. They had a 15-foot high berm of earth to protect from waves. And so you've got this 100-acre park, and you're standing there, and you're 35 feet from Lake Michigan, and you can't see it. There's this little skinny 10-foot strip of dirt on top where all the people sat and picnicked, because that's the only place you could see the water. Well, when we came in, we were building a marina for the city, and they had parking, so we put the parking in, we put a green roof on it, elevated the park 25 feet, and all of a sudden you've got these amazing expansive views, and it's one of the nicest parks in the south side of Chicago. And so we can do the same thing here by building this and creating public spaces on top so people can get up on top, have a nice meal, look out across the trees, see the beach, see the water, see the whole north horizon.
So describe to me how you would access that rooftop space.
Well, you'd go into the building, and it would have to be accessed from inside the building. So you'd go up to a restaurant or whatever. So we're figuring out how to make that as good as we can.
Might there be a staircase or something, maybe on the backside or on one of these?
Yeah, we're looking at that. We've got to solve some security things, and we don't want somebody to jump off or fall off or whatever. We'll figure that out.
Right.
But certainly, at least at a good portion of the time, you'll be able to get up.
Yeah, I'm thinking of, there's a casino in Niagara Falls on the Canadian side, Falls View Casino, I think, and it's the same sort of thing. The elevation drops way off down towards the falls, and there's several staircases on the sidewalk the public can access. It's a couple of flights. Nobody's jumped off that I know of. Nobody's fallen off. There's railings, and it's beautiful. And behind you have a 20-story tower. But it's sort of become part of the experience. Yeah,
we're trying to figure out how to make that work. But clearly, the best way to get views from Charlotte is we got to get up over some of the trees. And so we think we can do that.